between 4.5 and 9.5 points per game, but no double-figure scorer on the roster right now. And we get a look at Malik Williams, who starts the game, a big double-double for him the last time these two teams met. 20 points, 10 rebounds, and they win.
6'11" senior. When everything's working, and he's working, he can be very, very tough. 9 points, 8 rebounds a game. And we're set to go here at the Barclays building. It's a beautiful, beautiful night in New York City as we are underway. One thing right away to tell you for the Yellow Jackets, their two top scorers, Michael DeVoe and Jordan Usher, are not in the starting lineup. A violation of team rules. They are expected to play.
And Obi, calling them top scorers is an understatement. These two young men account for 47% of the offense for Georgia Tech. But Kyle Sturdivant getting it started off early, letting his coach know, I got this.
The junior out of Norcross, Georgia. So we'll see how long it takes for Josh Pastner to get his two stars into the game. Curry underneath, can't hit. Sidney Curry, who's really been playing well. He's been a hot hand. That's what we're talking about, just how much they are missing, as this will go the other way. But 40% of the scoring, these two guys. Now, New York is the city that never sleeps. It's possible they didn't get all the sleep they were required to get.
But these are my guys, though. They both got freshly braided up for the trip coming to the big city and expecting to make their debut here. And you're talking about two guys, not only the ACC reigning tournament MVP, but also an all-tournament member last season.
Thrown out of play by Louisville. You're right about that, too. DeVoe was 0, the 6'5" senior from Orlando, was magical in the tournament last year.
And Jordan Usher, the only player for Georgia Tech that has started every game this season. That streak now broken after they had a wonderful senior night to send them off. 30 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists for him. These guys not starting the ACC tournament.
Moore on the dribble, trying to get in close, and couldn't get it to go. Williams with his first rebound. He is the number 5 rebounder in the conference. Look at the starters for Louisville. Locke, West, Faulkner, Williams, and Curry. Keep your eye on number 21, Sidney Curry, because he makes about 70% of his shots, Corey, and he's making everything inside lately.
And he has been spectacular as of late.
Georgia Tech changing up that lineup a little bit. Miles Kelly is in there, along with Moore, Howard, Sturdivant, and Coleman. And Josh Pastner at the helm in his 6th year for Georgia Tech. He went on that scintillating run to win the tournament title a year ago, but this version has obviously not shown that kind of possibility. They are 12-19.
And Josh Pastner got me running back and forth across the court right before the game. I went over, I said, no way this is correct. I know DeVoe and Usher starting. He looked and smiled and said, hey, we've got rules. They got to follow them. Wasn't anything major. They will play, but they will not start.
Howard up top, 6'10" big man, but a foul off the ball. And Mike McGee's the interim head coach for the Cardinals. Chris Mack let go, of course. A parting of the ways, a parting in the program. It was a shocker at the time.
Well, Mike McGee's taking over. Immediate action for him as soon as he gets the job. Suspends Malik Williams. Malik Williams now back, did everything necessary for him to rejoin the team. And right now, this team has played hard under Mike McGee. They haven't had good luck, but they have continued to play hard throughout his team tournament.
One thing about Malik Williams, shot clock down to 8, he has played for no fewer than 4 head coaches at Louisville. That's unprecedented. Here's Sturdivant with a little fall away, and that'll drop in for him. And the Yellow Jackets take a 4-0 lead.
And it's not unheard of to play for 4 head coaches in today's game, simply because guys are leaving schools and they played at 4 schools. We've seen that before.
One school.
But at one school, I don't think there's anyone else in the country that's dealt with that outside of Malik Williams. And again, not that that's fair to Malik Williams, but these are the circumstances. But he loves Louisville, and so therefore did not pack up and leave. Continue to stay through the process.
He gets a touch here, and we'll kick it to West, the point guard. They find an open shooter. That won't drop for Noah Locke. It's about 34% out there. Pops up high, and Coleman comes away with it for the Yellow Jackets, who played in a lot of close games. They have lost a lot of close games. They've lost 7 by 5 points or less.
And right now, you see Georgia Tech, the 4-0 lead, and this is giving Josh Pastner an opportunity to keep DeVoe and Usher on the bench. That is freshmen. And, of course, the veterans in Sturdivant and Howard have ran things to this point.
Shot clock to 4. He's going to launch a long one and swish it in. Sturdivant is off to the races early.
You know, and this is something that really can be a message to your leaders. Hey, guys, we can be okay without you. And you see the 7-0 run. Now, again, I'm not sure how long they can be okay without those two guys, but it's been a great start for the Ramblin' Wreck.
Here's Faulkner and swishes in the triple. Mason Faulkner, the grad out of Kentucky. And finally gets the Ville on the board, 7-3.
And you talk about Mason Faulkner, a young man who is approaching 1,500 points in his college career. There is talent on this Louisville roster.
And yet 12 and 18, and here they are playing on the first night of the tournament as an 11 seed. That doesn't sound right when you're talking about Louisville.
Well, and Josh Pastner made it clear, this is the one team, when you look at their talent, you look at their roster, Louisville does not belong on Tuesday. He said this is a Thursday team when you look at their talent. Of course, they've had a tumultuous year, but when you look at them on paper, they should not be here today.
Faulkner feeding inside. Down the lane comes Williams, and he'll draw the foul. Didn't it?
It really did. And when you consider Malik Williams and the answer to that question, that was on a Saturday at home after a loss. We then had Louisville at Virginia on that Monday, so 2 days later, and Virginia won that game. That night, the next morning, we started getting news that Chris Mack and Louisville had decided to part ways. And again, not to say that this was the reason why, but that spoke volumes to really what was going on within the program at Louisville, and had an opportunity to talk with Luke Hancock pregame today, who lives in Louisville and, of course, won a national championship. I don't care whether they vacated or not, won a national championship with the Cards. And we talked about that and just how much that spoke volumes to where the team was regarding Chris Mack's coaching.
Yeah, Malik becoming embroiled in the Mack separation. He was suspended by Mike DeGeese for failing to meet program standards. That's the language that he used. He returned. He played several games. He did not make the trip to Virginia Tech, harkening back to the same reasons, as that is airmailed and has a shot clock violation. Georgia Tech on top 9-5, but he did start there on senior day, and he's back in the lineup tonight.
And speaking of back in the lineup, here comes my guy Jordan Usher, Michael DeVoe to follow, and you see Usher ready to go. Fresh braids, ready to go in New York City. The first game this year he has not started, but I tell you, this is one of my favorites in the ACC, and you can best believe the energy will be there from 4 in blue.
DeVoe 18 points, 5 rebounds a game. Usher 15 points, 7 rebounds a game. Any night, the two of them are leading the team in scoring. They're co-leaders, but DeVoe's had a terrific year. He was named to the All-ACC third team. Nice catch by Williams, and he'll drop it in.
And a nice job by Jarrod West finding Williams, and Williams doing a great job sealing Usher out of the way to where only he can receive the basketball.
Here's Kelly up top for Howard. He'll miss about 5 games earlier this season because of an ankle injury. Usher hits the deck, no whistle there as that'll dribble out. A 9-7 lead for the Yellow Jackets. We take a look at the player spotlight brought to you by Geico. The 2021 ACC champion against FSU, 20 points. Mr. Clutch, 8 for 12, and was the MVP in a great tournament run.
Absolutely a great tournament running. You're talking about who had teammates with the ACC Player of the Year as well as ACC Defensive Player of the Year. But Michael DeVoe was actually the ACC Tournament MVP, and it had a lot to do with that championship game against Florida State.
Now, conversely, Usher, his running mate, is coming off a 30-point game against Boston College.
And not just 30 points, also 8 rebounds, 5 assists for Jordan Usher. But he's one of the most versatile players you're going to see in college basketball, not just the ACC, the ability to play 1 through 5.
Usher is spinning and firing, but it'll go the other way. An offensive foul. So Louisville with a quick bounce back to tie this at 9 apiece. Louisville does not have a guy averaging, Corey, over 9.5 points a game. They're sorely lacking a true offensive leader, aren't they?
Well, when you look at this team, they have 8 newcomers, 6 transfers, 2 freshmen coming into the fold this year. And honestly, I think that building chemistry at some point was a problem. No chemistry problems right there between Faulkner and Sidney Curry raising up to give Louisville the lead.
No, in my chemistry classes in high school, I got burned every time I tried to do one of those experiments. That's exactly what happened there in a big way.
I can see you on the Bunsen burner right now.
That was trouble. Sturdivant again. Right now, he's a little too much to handle for the Ville. Having a very nice first half with 9 points and 4 for 5 from the floor.
I wonder how many people at home are now thinking about that chemistry set they got for Christmas at time.
Right, and it just sat there for a lot of us, untouched. Curry will draw the whistle. Really active in the middle of that lane.
And speaking of active, Sidney Curry along that back line. And that's one of the things Louisville has exploited over this Georgia Tech zone, the ability to go over the top. We saw it to Malik Williams from the opposite side, but Malik didn't finish it as emphatically as Sidney Curry did on that possession.
6'8" junior out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Yeah, listed at 6'8". Whenever I watch him, he looks bigger to me.
Well, that's because he's losing weight. So that's what they say. When you thin out, you look taller.
Is that how that works?
I think. I'm not thinning out, so I can't really say this for certain. But when you consider Sidney Curry, who came in, has lost over 40 pounds since he's been at Louisville. And again, you see the muscles have developed, and he has gotten it done on the court, averaging 23.3 over his last 3 games.
If I'm an NFL scout and I'm watching right now, I say, Sidney, stop losing weight. You're a tight end. Okay, we're going to draft you right into the league with that physique and those hands. Again, making 70% of his shots for the season. Louisville by 1 here in Brooklyn. Backdoor cut, Coleman. Spinning, really stuck with it, but could not connect. And on contact, here comes Louisville pushing the tempo. Ellis gave it off and a whistle. Louisville 24-14 all time against Georgia Tech.
I caught a quick glimpse of that. I was wondering if Faulkner had on 2 different colored shoes, but actually one came off in the scrum on the last possession. Fortunately, he got the break to be able to put it back on. You see Faulkner going in for the, oh, wait a minute. Sidney Curry stepped on his foot. I mean, it's one thing when an opponent does it, but when your teammate steps on your shoe, takes you out. And we talked about Sidney. He's lost some weight, but he's still carrying some weight. So when he steps on your foot, you're losing the shoe.
Yes.
And hopefully you don't lose a foot.
You're lucky it's not more than that. Exactly right. Ellis at the line makes it 14-11. And we'll see if Michael DeVoe can get rolling. The senior from Orlando, Florida. After not starting the game, a disciplinary measure. He'll scoop that one in on a tough drive. DeVoe on the board. He had 23 when these two met back in January against Louisville.
You see the different zones that Georgia Tech has, and they're able to morph really into a man-to-man or a matchup zone at any given notice, but that has been the area exploited. Sidney Curry kicking that one back out, gave up an opportunity at the rim.
Ellis a one-hander. He'll be headed to the line. Got that up at 9 on the shot clock. Louisville beating Georgia Tech when they met January 2nd in Atlanta, 67-64. Louisville getting 20 points and 11 rebounds from Malik Williams in that one. And they have won exactly 3 games since then. And Ellis at the line, where he averages 9 points a game for the season, 67% foul shooter. And coming up on Thursday, March 17th, we'll have more women's lacrosse for you with number 7 Duke hosting Louisville. Our coverage starting at 8 o'clock Eastern right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. 12:16 remaining first half. First night game, strictly speaking, here at the ACC tournament. And 4 games coming up tomorrow on our ESPN family of networks.
We talked about the versatility of Jordan Usher now playing the 5 spot. We've seen him actually handling the basketball, playing some point early. Not sure if that's the shot Josh Pastner wanted from Usher, but wanted to get him an opportunity on the block, especially with Sidney Curry out of the game. DeVoe and Usher since the end of the game. Georgia Tech
scuffling to score a little bit inside. It's Williams, and he'll drop in 2 more.
And that's been a point of emphasis for Louisville the entire season, getting more points in the paint, not relying on the three, not a great three-point shooting team. And you've seen they come out with that emphasis in this game, and it's worked to perfection.
Louisville's made their last 5 shots. DeVoe fall away and short. Cardinals the 11 seed. Georgia Tech is the number 14 seed. Malik Williams squaring up. He'll fire it and knock it down. Very smoothly done by the 3-time team captain for the Cardinals.
And Malik Williams playing like he does not want his career to end on this floor tonight. Coming out to a great start, showing off all the different weapons he has in his arsenal.
Josh Bassett is going to bring 3 new guys in. Doesn't like the mix right now for the Yellow Jackets. We're a preseason number 10 in the ACC. Didn't measure up to that. Shot clock down to 6. DeVoe with a bit of a fumble. DeVoe will launch it. And pretty chilly as that one rolls out of play. Louisville surge.
Actually, Louisville is spreading love against the zone, and you see Malik Williams right in the center that has his options, and back to Mason Faulkner, who's able to knock down the 3 on 1 possession. And then Louisville's been able to go over the top a number of times for finishes 1 to Williams, 1 to Curry.
Jump shot out of the corner is going to be in and out by the Bill. Locke couldn't get it to go, but a second effort for Williams.
A strong offensive board by Malik Williams, and then poised under pressure to get it back out, run offense instead of forcing up a shot.
Williamson into the game, got a good look on the turnaround, but couldn't knock it in. Earlier today, the 13 seed Boston College beat Pitt 66-46. Pittsburgh, their season over. Number 12 seed, number 10 seed Clemson defeated NC State in game number 2. So they move on, and we'll have 4 games tomorrow. It begins at noontime. Florida State against Syracuse. Should be a dandy, the 8-9 game.
It really should. And right now, the end of the shot clock, give Louisville credit for the job they've done defensively as well as offensively in this game. Josh Pastner told us yesterday he had no idea which Louisville team would show up. He's seen the good Louisville, and of course he's seen the Louisville over their past 16 games, but we've seen great Louisville here to start this game.
Ellis left it short underneath, and the Yellow Jackets want to run. DeVoe will line it up. He can't stick it. Got off to a pretty quick start, but he has chilled since then. And it's been a different game, really, since Usher and DeVoe came in the Cardinals' favor, and that continues as Locke makes 2 more.
And oftentimes teams are very confused against the zone and the defensive pressure of Georgia Tech. But give Mike Pegues and his staff credit. They have come out very well prepared to be able to operate against Georgia Tech's defense.
A 17-4 run for Louisville since the Stars entered for Georgia Tech. Finally banged in by Jordan Usher, who went over 1,000 points in a game against North Carolina back in January. Louisville not to wait, and Locke with a 3 from the corner.
And confusion getting back defensively. Usher caught on the wrong side, and the one guy you cannot leave open for 3, Noah Locke, who has been a knockdown shooter his entire career at Florida as well as here at Louisville.
Well, we came on the air talking about the Cardinals in a tournament like this being an unknown. I think a lot of people are looking at maybe Florida State as a very serious dark horse in this tournament. They're getting healthier. The Cardinals, though, have all sorts of talent to be a dark horse, too, and they're up 25-15.
Earlier, and now you see them go over the top to Sidney Curry, who's able to finish it off. But it's been about getting it done in the paint. Malik Williams has been the guy for Louisville thus far, being able to finish in the paint, coming up with offensive rebounds, being a go-to guy in the post area, attacking the rim, and then showing off the sweet touch on the outside, knocking down the mid-range jumper. Malik Williams has it going in all facets here this evening.
Been a roller coaster season for him on and off the court, but he's playing very well here tonight. Rebound cradled by Williamson. Remembering Malik Williams was a preseason All-ACC as well. Don't forget that. Locke with a miss, but another basket to make it 27-15.
But if you've watched Louisville, and I'm sure many of the people tuned in are Louisville fans watching, you haven't really seen this type of effort from them as of late. You know, their senior night against Virginia was not a great performance, to say the least, in front of the home crowd. But they have picked it up here. It seems as though things are starting to come together here as they near the end of the season.
Way downtown West. Can't get it to go. Curry with another man's rebound. The winner of this one will take on the 6th seed Virginia tomorrow night. We'll have that game for you at 9:30.
We mentioned that senior day for Louisville. It was actually a loss to Virginia. They got off to an 8-0 start for that game and then found themselves down big at halftime.
Jordan Usher pounding his way into the paint. And coming off 30 against BC, one of his 25 double-figure scoring games he's had this season. Point guard West. Louisville thus far has turned it over exactly one time. They've been very clean. Empty possessions there, though. DeVoe beating everyone to the other end, but can't finish it.
And you right now can see Michael DeVoe not in his normal state of mind. Did not start this game. And again, he missed the game, which is the reason he hasn't started all this year. But you can see he may be affected by whatever it was that happened. The reason he didn't start this game. You know, I would love to be tuned in to Nothing But the Net. But this is actually the 2-year anniversary of when my girl Kelsey Riggs forgot my name. So on national TV, and look at Louisville getting out. Jarrod West, one of the top steals leaders active in college basketball, with the pick in the half court in the easy layup. And right now, you look at this Louisville team, and you're seeing a team that's playing like they have nothing to lose and everything to gain, which is another Biggie line, by the way. And they are getting it done here in Brooklyn.
Usher got it. Three-pointer, and they desperately needed that one. By the way, that hasn't come up in conversation with you and Kelsey since, has it?
Oh, no. We never talk about the fact that she forgot my name on national television.
31-20. Up high, here's Locke. He's taken 281 shots, 180 of them are three-pointers. Speaking of which, West will bury that one. The 5'11" grad out of Clarksburg, West Virginia.
Anyone checking in right now would say no way possible this team has lost 14 of their last 16 games. The way they are connected on both ends of the floor, sharing the basketball, and the chemistry seems to be great from the Cards.
Usher turning, firing, got it again. Another three-pointer, he has come alive.
I told you, he's one of my favorites. And when you think about Jordan Usher getting the job done, there's my girl Kels,
whose name will never be forgotten by you.
Oh, no. I would never forget her name.
I have the great honor of working with Kelsey on our football package. She's as good as it gets. Curry will draw the whistle with 4:32 to go.
You know, and I was mistaken. It's a 3-year anniversary. It's been 3 years. You know, we forgot a year. I guess it was 2020. We kind of didn't really have opportunity to do much of
this. Wouldn't we all like to, right? That particular year.
Yeah, we would like to have that one back, but at the same time, here we are in Brooklyn, the opportunity to be here for the ACC tournament once again, and great basketball here in the mecca of basketball. I don't care what anyone says. This is where basketball has been at its best in New York City.
New York City. Curry with a miss in the first one. Foul shooting is a problem for Sydney. Only 51% at the line. But Louisville trying to add to their lead. 34-23. Georgia Tech, from November 27 until the 12th of January, they won exactly one game. In that time, they lost 7. They had a couple of COVID pauses. The one victory was in overtime against Georgia State. But trying to bring some of that magic back from the ACC tournament in close. That one won't go by Jordan Mecca.
Beautiful foul from Jordan Usher, though. Usher unhappy about the fact that Mecca didn't just go straight up and shoot the easy layup when he had it.
Foul there away from the basketball.
Research on this.
I think we could make it. Louisville really doing a great job handling the basketball. They've gone over 15 minutes without a turnover. You don't want to jinx anybody, but doing a great job on that. Jump shot on the way, and that was playing off the iron by Williams, but they're getting a lot of second efforts. Another one here by West, and sticks the three.
And crazy, West in the first 18 games of the season only made 12 threes. In the last 12, made 17 and shooting 45% from three. So he's a guy that really should have been taking more shots early. He's trying to be more of a playmaker and a point guard, but it's showing off his shooting touch as of late.
Kind of the Louisville we were anticipating seeing at the beginning of the year.
This is them. And, you know, you and I had a chance to see them when they were 4-0 coming to Florida State, and they were playing great basketball coming into that game. Lost that one, and that's really where the slide started.
Khalid Moore with a bucket. Senior from Briarwood, New York. Right on the corner in Queens, New York. Went to high school at Archbishop Malloy. Same as Tech's legendary point guard Kenny Anderson.
Yeah, Khalid has about 30 to 35 family members and friends here making the trip from Queens to Brooklyn. A lot of rap battles going on between the two, but right now there's been peace.
Williams takes the feed up in there. Rebound knocked around. Usher on the line. Nice save by Jordan Usher. So Georgia Tech in the last 2.5 minutes before halftime in Brooklyn trying to cut into a 12-point deficit.
And Mecca missing Jordan Usher, who had a wide open layup on that last possession.
Moore will draw the foul. That's on Sidney Curry, extending a leg there. And Sunday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. We have our Nothing But Net men's selection special, breaking down the brackets and previewing all the games the ACC teams are playing in.
And props to our Nothing But Net crew. You think about not only Luke Hancock, who I mentioned was a national champion, Carlos Boozer, of course, a national champion, and Joe Barry. You got a lot of champions. I can't even go on the set now.
Yeah, that's a lot of rings.
Yeah, I didn't get a ring. I can't go on the set now.
A lot of rings. Locke, yes. He drills the three. The 6'3" senior on target. Louisville 5 out of 10. This has not been a strength most of the season. They're 31% from beyond the three-point line, but a different story here tonight on that topic. That's Miles Kelly, the shooting guard from Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Miles Kelly's shown he can shoot the basketball. 16 points for him last time out on senior night, coming up with his career high. So, and earning more playing time right now with Michael DeVoe watching the majority of the first half.
Locke again, and he's loving life.
We talked about Noah Locke, knockdown shooter, 11 points for him already in this first half. You're talking about one of the 3,000-point scorers on this Louisville roster.
And Michael DeVoe, the best offensive player in the building at this moment, has been sitting and watching a lot more than playing. Usher trying to get free underneath, but no. 43-28 Louisville.
And it's amazing how not starting this game has affected the two guys so differently. Jordan Usher has been great here in the first half. Not so much for Michael DeVoe, who Georgia Tech relies so much on.
Ellis to the paint, scoops it, yes. A little extra spin at the tail end to make sure it's stuck. Final seconds of the first half. And that's going to go as a foul with 22.3 to go. And will go against Louisville. Actually go against Georgia Tech. That was on Mecca. 45-28. 45-28 in the last 22 seconds before the break here of the finale of our game here in Brooklyn.
And Mike McGee's with a lot of energy on the sideline. In a stance, sliding his feet, got the energy necessary, and of course talking to our guy Kenny Klein. You got two of the best right there beside each other. Kenny Klein, Mike Stamos, they are definitely in my top tier of ACC SIDs, two of the best in the business.
They are absolute legends. And we can't do what we do without them. So the Bill, with the shot clock off, an opportunity to add to a nice lead going into the locker room. They're at Barclays Center. West on the dribble. Down to 4 seconds to get one off. Locke can't connect. Rebound tipped and controlled by Georgia Tech. The heave will come up well short, and that'll be the first half. But Louisville playing really, really well here in the first 20. They lead at 45-28. Halftime coming your way in a moment. Louisville shooting 55%. The signs of
all year about who is invested in the program, who wants to play. And right now, he's only played 7 of the 11 available guys that they normally play in their rotation. But those 7 guys had played great, and Mike Pegues continued to reward them with playing time.
So Louisville so good with the basketball in the first half. And in many other phases of the game, they open up with the basketball ahead 45-28 and a very quick whistle. As we check out the difference makers in the first 20. Louisville, that 17-4 run that we mentioned, shooting 53% from the field. Georgia Tech getting scoring off the bench, and of course DeVoe and Usher both came off the bench, and Usher did get 10 points while he was in there.
Well, Usher came in with the type of energy you would expect for him to play with, but Michael DeVoe has not been the same guy we've seen all season long after coming off the bench for the first time this season.
Locke slamming on the brakes. Williams will fire it and hit it. So they pick right back up here in the early second half.
But this is the Malik Williams that Georgia Tech saw in early January when he went for 20 and 10 against them. And not only what he's doing offensively, but you see him communicating defensively and being that anchor on the defensive end of the floor.
Moore will lift. Got a good look. Couldn't bury it. Curry with another rebound. He's had a really strong game.
He always has a strong game, regardless as to what the numbers look like. No matter what, when Sidney Curry steps on the floor, it's going to be strong.
Georgia Tech right away in a danger zone, and you can feel that in the early seconds of the second half. They could get blown out of here if they're not very, very careful.
But this is what Josh Pastner was afraid of. Which team shows up? Does the Louisville team with the Malik Williams playing invested basketball as he lines up another 3, unable to get that one, but Noah Locke getting involved in the action, coming up with the offensive board. We've seen him knocking down 3s, getting involved. But this is the Louisville team we all were expecting to see all season long. They should be playing on Thursday instead of Tuesday in the ACC tournament.
And that's exactly what the men and women who cover Louisville on a daily basis are saying on press row. That was the conversation at halftime. This team is exactly what they thought they would see when the season got underway. Howard drifting inside and hooks in 2. Big Rodney Howard, the 6'10 junior. Here's Locke. Off the window, that clangs right to Faulkner, and he drills a triple.
And when you add this component to the Cards, when they're knocking down 3s, it's going to be difficult to beat them. And now at this point, when you see Mike Pegues up clapping on the sideline in the defensive stand, getting his team motivated on the defensive end of the floor, you start to wonder, can this Louisville team make a run here in Brooklyn? They have the talent. We talked about that. And right now, it seems like they have the motivation.
Michael DeVoe with a frustration foul there, trying to stop the fast break as Louisville's lead balloons to 22. Day number 1 of the ACC tournament, and Mike Pegues' team has come to play.
And you look, DeVoe coming out of the game right now, and again, this could be the last time we see Michael DeVoe in the ACC. And you're talking about, you know, a 3rd-team All-ACC performer this year and a reigning ACC tournament MVP. I know Michael DeVoe does not want his Georgia Tech career to end in this fashion.
West, nifty pass and a slam by Williams. Look at the fire here by the Cardinals.
You know, I'm not going to say that I was one of the people that knew what to expect from this Louisville team, but I haven't seen Malik Williams dunk since he was a senior in high school. And so when you think about that, he's battled with health issues, etc. But that shows you where he is right now and how he's feeling about himself and his team.
Tournament started with a very hot hand, but he's chilled out. And another rebound for Sidney Curry. 54-30. Curry gets it. Flips it up and a misfire. Georgia Tech needs somebody with a hot hand. They turn to Usher. He'll draw the foul out high, up around the top of the key. 3 minutes into the second half, and Louisville has put Michael DeVoe, the number 3 scorer in the ACC, on the bench as we started the game. 18 points a game so far, held to 2.
And DeVoe 1 for 7 from the field and only has 1 foul, so it's not as though he's in foul trouble. Right now, Josh Pastner just liking what his team is doing more so without DeVoe on the floor. You got to love what Jordan Usher's doing at the end of the day. And it's one of the reasons I love this young man. He is going to play with the same energy, the same effort, no matter what the scoreboard says. This is a young man, Obi, we're going to see playing in the NBA at some point.
A whistle off the ball and a foul on the illegal screen. 54-32. DeVoe, by the way, made his first shot when he finally got in the game and then missed 6 in a row.
But I don't believe that his approach has been the right way. And again, oftentimes when you think about discipline, and whatever it was, and Josh Pastner said it's nothing major, but you have to accept that discipline and move on. And it looks as though Jordan Usher accepted it, but Michael DeVoe is still battling with it, whether it was right or whether it was wrong, and it has been in his mind throughout this game.
I don't know what all happened. I do know when I was a young man and I made one of my first trips to New York, I didn't get in on time. I know that's how it went, for me anyway.
But did you have an ACC tournament game the next day?
I did not, sir.
And we don't know that that was the case. That is all speculation. We don't know that that's the case. But I've been here before as a freshman. And I will say that I don't think I made it in for curfew that night.
Well, now you let us know.
Well, I didn't get caught.
There's a lesson there, too. Usher gives it up downstairs. Howard trying to muscle his way in, and he drops in a bucket. Rodney Howard. And the big junior giving him a little bit of life downstairs.
And Rodney Howard has been a bonus for Georgia Tech. Later in the season, missed 5 games throughout the middle of the ACC play with the ankle injury, and they really were a different team without him.
Malik Williams on the attack. The kick here for West. Well, you can tell Noah Locke is really hunting for 3-pointers when he does have a bit of an opening. Talk about an opening. A tough move there by Curry, and he'll be at the line.
And we got dancing going on right now. The Cards are having a great time on the floor right now. The conductor is loving it. Mike McGee, guarding anyone, argues with Jalen Withers about help responsibility. That was on Malik Williams. You rewind, you fast forward 5 days later against Duke. You see Malik Williams coming over to help a helper in a very close game against the Blue Devils on their home floor. And now we've got dancing Malik. Malik is not only getting it done on the court, but he and his teammates are having a great time here in Brooklyn. And Malik Williams has been a spark for Mike McGee and the Louisville Cards here tonight.
Curry will head to the bench after 3-point play to make it 57-34 here at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Corey Alexander, Dave O'Brien with you.
So you're not going to use your Brooklyn name?
I'm going to warm up into it.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Use my way, if you don't mind. Ellis almost lost the handle there.
I'm not really sure if you can call yourself
I don't think I can.
I can call you that.
If you do it, I can sit here uncomfortably, and that's fine. Williams hits the deck, and the rebound snatched away by the Yellow Jackets. Boy, do they need a long run here.
They really do, but you consider what Louisville's doing defensively as well as offensively, and Georgia Tech without the services of Michael DeVoe, and not because of injury, not because of foul trouble. Really, it's more so a decision by Josh Pastner.
Kelly, a long one. Yes. Miles Kelly, the freshman.
Well, Miles Kelly's got that in his bag. He and Devo Coleman, 2 of the better freshman shooters in the ACC. However, you got to think Jaquavion Smith when you talk about shooting as a freshman.
Locke lets fly. And that won't drop. Howard. Oh, taken right away by Williamson. And he spins it in.
Everyone that has gotten in the game for the Cards has been involved. But look at the bench, Obi. The bench is standing the entire time, doing a great job encouraging their teammates as well as staying invested in this game. Even guys who are in the rotation that haven't played.
Usher with a miss, but a whistle.
And you see Williamson just taking it away, and then the finish on the opposite side Samuel Williamson, who has been a roller coaster season as well, getting involved in the action. But this is what I'm really concerned about. Look at Trey Davis. He hasn't played in this game. This is a starter, but yet he's up, encouraging and cheering on his teammates. And you've seen that from Matt Cross. You've seen that from so many different guys on this Louisville bench.
Yeah, Trey Davis had 16 against Duke. He had 18 against Miami. He can be a big-time contributor. But you've not had to hear from him in this one.
But Mike Pegues has done a tremendous job preparing these guys to be able to come in and play in the ACC tournament. And whatever the conversation has been from Saturday with a lackluster performance on senior day to Tuesday, it worked, whatever Mike Pegues said to this team.
Ellis way downtown. Fight for the rebound. It pops free on the baseline. And knocking down Bill Covington.
Yeah, Cov took a slow fall on that one, though. That was like in slow motion. I got to talk to Cov about that. He was trying to decide as to whether or not he was going to go down and then realize, well, it's the cheerleaders right here, so maybe I'll just go ahead and take the tumble.
59-37. Bill appears to be okay. And it'll be Georgia Tech basketball. Louisville and Duke coming up in lacrosse. That'll be on the 17th. Our coverage starting at 8 o'clock Eastern right here at ACC Network and the ESPN app.
Michael DeVoe back into the game for Georgia Tech. It'll be interesting to see his body language and how he approaches the remainder of this game. We could see the career ending of Michael DeVoe here in this second half, and I know he doesn't want to go out without a fight.
Been a great scorer at 37 against Georgia in November. From the corner, Locke. Yes, sir. Another triple.
Noah Locke had to wait a little longer on that one. Ellis explored his opportunities first before finding Noah Locke. But Noah Locke 4 for 10 from beyond the arc. 16 points for him already in this one.
Georgia Tech, meanwhile, has not even attempted a foul shot in the game. West. Nice scoop shot on the reverse. And on virtually every single play, Louisville has a giant smile just like that, because it is all going their way, and they lead it 64-37 in a timeout.
Josh Pastner was fearful of the unknown, and he has gotten the good cards in this one. Noah Locke, the corner three ball, knocking it down, and the bench is loving it. To show up in the box score. You see just going in after the basketball, getting a hand on it, which leads to a wide open three. Mason Faulkner knocking down the three ball, and Malik Williams has had his handprint over this entire basketball game, and more importantly, his energy, his effort has been contagious throughout this team.
And a big senior leading Louisville to a 64-37 advantage here in round one. The winner will take on Virginia tomorrow night. Virginia, the number 6 seed.
But look at Ellis getting after defensively, and more importantly, 4 white uniforms coming over to help him up off the floor. It's no way anyone would tune in and watch this game if you haven't followed Louisville this season and say this team has lost 14 of their last 16 games.
12-18, 6-14 in the conference, playing their way to an 11 seed. One of the great blue blood programs in all of college basketball over the years. That's going to rattle in. On target is DeVoe. So little offense out of him so far tonight, but he's got some time here.
And I hope that gets him going. You're talking about a young man who's averaged 18 points per game, third leading scorer in the ACC, only 5 for him, 2 for 8 from the field now. And more importantly, I would love to see his body language change to a standpoint to where he feels like he can get this team back in.
But, you know, the Cardinals just continue to bury threes. Ellis right on the money. And they are 9 for 19.
And Ellis was runner-up for ACC 6th Man of the Year behind Matthew Cleveland. But Ellis has been spectacular as a starter as well.
Noah Locke with the foul. Louisville chat that's presented by New York Life to help benefit the local Boys and Girls Clubs. Score points for your school, and after the tournament, the local Boys and Girls Club will receive a donation from New York Life based on their affiliated ACC team's final ranking. Louisville very good tonight from three-point land. Coleman at the line with a miss. Debo Coleman, a freshman for the Yellow Jackets. Earlier today, Boston College polished off Pitt 66-46. They went on a 22-3 run to put that game away. And Clemson knocked off NC State 70-64. P.J. Hall had 18 and 10 in that one.
Nova, you mentioned the three-point shooting as Curry mishandles the basketball, which would have been another wide-open dunk for him. You mentioned the three-point shooting. Louisville 9 for 19 from 3. Big bucket from Miles Kelly on that one to see if he can get something going. But this Louisville team shot 31% from the season from beyond 3, and you look at what they've been able to do here tonight. And it just really, I'm not sure if that's a focus thing, but again, you're coming into a building. They didn't even practice here yesterday. This is a team that's coming in here cold, hasn't practiced in this building, and shooting the basketball very well.
Now look at the bracket as mentioned. BC a winner, Clemson a winner, so they move on to tomorrow. Wake Forest and Boston College, but our first game will be Florida State and Syracuse. When you look at FSU starting to get healthy again, a lot of people are kind of looking over their shoulder like, wait a minute, remember Leonard Hamilton's team was in first place in the conference in January.
Yeah, we got a chance to see them on Saturday against NC State, and they look great. But you also remember as Jordan Usher gets involved in three-point party, and just like that, back-to-back threes for Georgia Tech. And right now, Mike Pegues wants to talk it over with his team. Even though they had a 27-point lead, you don't want to let it go right now. Pegues a little concerned as the Ramblin' Wreck has caught a little bit of fire.
A 7-0 run here to cut it to 20. With about 11 minutes remaining here at Barclays Center. First round of the 2022 ACC tournament. Of course, the Duke Blue Devils are the #1 seed. And the favorite. Now let's give you a look at the ACC awards as were announced today here in the conference. And you had a vote, I had a vote. Player of the Year, Alondes Williams of the Demon Deacons.
And I'm not mad at that at all. Defensive Player of the Year, Mark Williams. And of course, Rookie of the Year, Paolo Banchero from the Blue Devils. We see Darion Sebron, the Most Improved Player of the Year. And we mentioned earlier Matthew Cleveland, Sixth Man of the Year. Steve Forbes taking home Coach of the Year honors.
Well, very deserving all the way around. And he would tell you, I would too. Conference had a down year.
I'm not going with it.
You're not going to go there.
Nope, I'm not. And the reason I'm not going with it is because I think the conference was judged too much on the non-conference play. I am looking forward to the 5, 6, or 7 ACC teams that get into the NCAA tournament going and making a run, seeing some of those teams in the second weekend.
Right now, Joe Lunardi has 5 in. And now our Food Lions, food for thought. Coach K, still not the Coach of the Year. You have to go back to 2000, the last time that he was honored that way, despite winning 3 national championships in that period.
And just like I'm not mad at Alondes Williams getting ACC Player of the Year when that wasn't my vote, I'm not mad at Steve Forbes getting ACC Coach of the Year, even though my vote was Coach K. Not mad at that either. I think Steve Forbes did a great job this year. And normally around this time, I'm battling with everyone over what should have been done. But I'm not going to do that this year. Everyone who won those awards has been very deserving.
I would certainly agree with that. And 13 other head coaches won that honor since the last time Coach K won it. Tough drive and a foul as well. That's Michael DeVoe on the loose.
And that's the Michael DeVoe we were expecting to see in this game. And now I like the way that Michael DeVoe has changed a little bit of his mannerisms, gotten involved in this game, recognizing, hey, it's coming to an end right now, and turning the corner, getting to that strong left hand in the finish, an opportunity for a three-point play.
Just 1 for 7 in that first half. Starting to pick it up a little bit. And leading a 10-0 run here for Georgia Tech. So they're getting back in it. Or trying to. Faulkner. A lot of iron tipped into the corner. And it'll stay on this end. It'll be Louisville ball. Precisely 10 minutes to play.
Yeah, 10 minutes is a very long time in a basketball game. Up until this point, everything has gone Louisville's way. But right now, you see Georgia Tech starting to find some energy, starting to find some momentum. A couple of more stops and buckets. And I think you might see Mike Pegues calling another timeout and having some concerns.
Off target by Ellis, missed badly. DeVoe and And a reach-in foul against the Cardinals. Will go against Faulkner.
You can see even Mike McGee's facial expressions, mannerisms have changed a bit as you see DeVoe coming down. Mason Faulkner reaching in hard to go get a basketball from a player coming at you full speed. And normally, when you see the defender on the ground, that's a you reach, I teach moment. You got the foul and you took the punishment.
Just picked up his fourth. To put DeVoe at the line where he makes 73%. Michael DeVoe with 13 20-point games, a bunch of 30-point games as well for the Yellow Jackets, and that second one is in and out. So now the Cardinals looking for a hot hand again.
Well, we talked about their shooting and got off to a great start shooting the three. But if you're Louisville, you can't fall in love with that. They did their damage in the painted area.
Williamson denied. Good tough defense. They collapsed on him. DeVoe to the paint. Yeah. Sweet shot by DeVoe, and he has come to life.
Thank you, Michael DeVoe. This is who we've been waiting to see. I know you didn't start the game, but now you've got to go in here. And a great move by Josh Pastner, sitting down his star, getting him to recognize we need you to play a certain way for us to be successful.
Malik Williams fouled before the shot. 13-0 run here by Pastner's Yellow Jackets. And DeVoe missed his first shot. I should say made his first, missed his next 6, and he's made the last 3.
But he started the second half, and then after Josh Pastner not liking his body language, not liking his energy, he sat him down. And during that time sitting down, and I've been there before, Obi, Mike DeVoe thought about, hey, wait a minute, this is it for me. So therefore, I got to make sure I do better when I get back out there, and he's done just that.
Khalid Morris slapping that basketball free. DeVoe again on a drive, and he continues it.
Uh-oh, DeVoe. Here we go, Mike. This is the guy we've been waiting to see. A 27-point lead has been cut to 12, and you look at the run just like that. 15-0 in the last 3:32.
Williams cross court. Back up top for Locke. West will swing it. Williams will shoot it. A rebound tipped and a foul against the Yellow Jackets.
I'll tell you what, you look, and you don't look around to see a huge crowd, but the Georgia Tech contingent is making a lot of noise in this building right now as they feel it. As they start to mount a comeback.
With about 8 minutes to go, so plenty of time. Shot clock at 10. West. Ellis trying to get inside. Nothing there. Almost threw it away. Shot clock down to 3. And DeVoe with the rebound.
Oh, this is full speed go. Oh, Jordan Usher, I thought he was going to attack one-on-one. Makes a smart play.
They want DeVoe to touch it every time down. Rebounds tip. Controlled by Georgia Tech. More underneath. And yes, he'll finish it off. And don't look now, but Georgia Tech is down by just 10. A 17-0 run over 4.5 minutes. Williams will try one. No. Feeling like there's a lid on that basket now for the Cardinals.
Well, and this is the time when not having that go-to guy hurts the Cards. Not being able to put the basketball in one guy's hand to say, go get me a bucket.
Locke launching in and out. Man, it was in the cylinder.
And right now, Mike McGee's trying his best to wait on the media timeout. But the 17-0 run, if Georgia Tech is able to get a bucket here, and the foul bails them out. But when you think about what has happened, a 17-0 run for the Rambling Wreck, Michael DeVoe has gotten involved in the action, and now you see the fight from Georgia Tech and the lid on the basket for the Cards. On the bench, and they're carving up the Georgia Tech zone. They're rowing the boat. Noah Locke is knocking down threes, and the Cards are dancing until Michael DeVoe, not to be confused with Bell Biv and DeVoe. Michael getting the job done and coming in, sparking a 17-0 Georgia Tech run. And everything about Michael DeVoe since going to the bench on the last time has changed. You look at what he's done. 11 points in the second half, 4 for 5 from the field, and that's all happened since Josh Baxter sat him down here in the second half.
Somewhere along the line, that boat may have sprung a little bit of a leak as Usher rolls that one in. 71%. The last time the lead was in single digits, by the way, about 8.5 minutes left in the first half. Louisville led 22-15.
And now the run 19-0. It was 67-40. And all was well for the Cards. And just like that, Georgia Tech found some momentum, and they've been riding it ever since.
Yeah, to the tune of 19-zip. Curry with a high pass out to West. Shot clock to 9. Ellis lost the dribble. Williams in tight for 2. Malik Williams with a hugely necessary basket that snaps that 19-0 run.
And a nice find. We saw Louisville having success getting behind that zone.
Kelly jumping in off the window.
Yeah, Miles Kelly continues his strong play. This is the time of the year where coaches say freshmen are no longer freshmen anymore after you played 30 games coming into conference play. And Miles Kelly looking like a veteran right now.
Williams threw it away. Guess who's right there? Michael DeVoe with the pick.
Uh-oh, Debo.
Coleman. No.
You got a great look from a great shooter right there. Debo Samuels hesitated. Sorry, not the running back. Debo Coleman hesitated for a second.
Rebound torn away by Khalid Moore. Moore on the other end, stumbling. Tried to save it, but couldn't. Back over to the Cardinals.
Things are going your way when you see Jordan Usher smiling, and of course, you get the shot of the tat that says smile. And when you think about Jordan Usher, this is what I'm used to seeing from him, a guy showing off the teeth, enjoying himself on the basketball court, having a great time.
Started the game on the bench, a foul by DeVoe. So he will pick up the personal. Both DeVoe and Usher, because of disciplinary reasons, did not start. The 2 top scorers on the team. DeVoe, the number 3 scorer in the conference. But both of those 2 have helped bring them back to life here in the second half.
They really have, and you think about the energy of Jordan Usher, and that's always going to be present. But Michael DeVoe's focus coming back into this game after being sat down by his coach. And Michael DeVoe is a 4-year starter. There's very few games where he's come off the bench throughout his entire Georgia Tech career. We talked about a young man who was the ACC tournament MVP last season, and I believe he just had a little conversation with himself over there, basically saying, this is not the way I want to go out. I don't want to end at what's been a very good career like this.
DeVoe and Usher, both seniors. West smooth at the line, makes it 71-61. On the cut, Kelly to lay it in. 4:53 to go. And a delay of game warning here.
A beautiful find. And we talked about Usher and his versatility, now playing the 5 position. And Georgia Tech loves to play with the ball in the hands of their post players, making plays at the top of the key.
Locke lets fly, but no. Curry, big rebound, right back up for 2. He tore that down.
Well, what you often sacrifice when you're playing Jordan Usher at the 5 is just a smaller lineup, and oftentimes you give up those offensive rebounds.
A hold, 4:26 to go. Let's take a look at that Curry rebound a moment ago. He is a man under there.
When you play a smaller lineup, it's difficult. It's difficult to keep Sidney Curry off the glass for anyone, but when you think about Jordan Usher at 6'6", Debo Coleman at 6'5", underneath there trying to keep the strong Sidney Curry off the glass, that's tough to do.
Faulkner fouling out, and Sunday night, 9 o'clock Eastern, right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app, our Nothing But Net men's selection show with the breakdown of the brackets and previewing all of the games the ACC teams will play in. 73-65.
14 points now for Miles Kelly, continuing his strong play late in the season.
Battle for that one, loose in the corner and knocked out of bounds. It'll stay on this end.
Obi, you see the difference in the movement of the defense for Georgia Tech compared to what we saw in the first half. These guys are all like on a string right now, making every pass difficult for Louisville on offensive end.
Noah Locke right in front of his bench at the far end to get it in. DeVoe anticipating that pass, slapped it away. He's playing with terrific energy here. The tail end of this game with about 4 minutes to go. Williams up top. He's going to launch a long one. Yellow Jackets with the board, and here they come again. Usher swings it underneath, and a connection with Miles Kelly on a terrific pass.
And a terrific finish from Kelly, not bringing it back down, but athletically finishing it all in the same motion.
Georgia Tech within 6, and a timeout Louisville. Mike Pegues can't wait here. 3.5 minutes to go. Kelly has the last 8 Georgia Tech points on the board. None prettier than those. ACC Network Basketball is brought to you by New York Life, helping people act on their love for 175 years. Great shot of the
air, and of course you got to have some athleticism to do that, but avoiding the shot blocker of Malik Williams.
So that cuts it to 73-67. If you're just tuning in, Georgia Tech was getting blown out of this thing in the first half. They were down by as many as 27.
They were, but it was a great run by Georgia Tech to get back into it. Miles Kelly playing a huge part in that. 17 points for him, eclipsing a career high he just set on Saturday of 16 on senior day.
Yellow Jackets had a magical run last year in the ACC tournament. They won the whole thing. They went to the NCAA tournament as a result of that.
Just 10 minutes ago, we were talking about Louisville making a magical run and dancing throughout this entire tournament, the way things have changed. But that's really been what the Card season has been like.
Stumbling inside, but that won't fall on the shot by L. Ellis. Usher will pass out high to his running mate DeVoe. Seems like they want him to touch it every time down the floor. And another whistle. 2:57 to go. The Nothing But Net crew will be here all day and night. Game previews, and then after the games, back with the highlights, analysis, and post-game interviews right here at ACCN and the ESPN app. Coleman to the line. Freshman out of Memphis, Tennessee, 75% at the line. And Louisville will hustle into junior Samuel Williamson. And Sidney Curry steps out for a moment. And another one coming for Debo Coleman. 1 of 2.
And right now you can see Louisville has lost confidence offensively against this zone. They've missed their last 7 3-point field goals and now need to look to emphasize getting the basketball inside the painted area, trying to score close to the rim.
West, the point guard, a 3. Got it!
Well, never mind to that.
Yeah. Big shot.
A huge shot from Jarrod West, stepping up right there, not considering the fact that they haven't been shooting it well, but confident enough to take it and make a big shot.
DeVoe, tough catch, and he's fouled by Williams, who went for the block. So Michael DeVoe to the line with 2:16 showing. First round, the winner will take on Virginia tomorrow night.
Oh, but you can see how the Princeton offense that Georgia Tech runs operates when you have a passer like Jordan Usher at the top in comparison to when they're playing a true big as in Howard or Mecca. And that's one of the things that Josh Pastors had to deal with throughout this season. Does he play an offensive lineup or a defensive lineup? And it's been tough for him trying to figure out what to do and what times throughout this year.
DeVoe hits the pair. 6-point game. Another one from West, and he drills it. Boy, confident looking shot.
He really has been. You're talking about a 45% three-point shooter over their last 13 games and taking two of the biggest and making two of the biggest shots.
And Usher cannot answer for the Yellow Jackets. Have they run out of steam? Cardinals to run some clock here. Minute and a half to play. Jarrod West, the point guard, not a big scorer, only 6 points a game. Williamson turning and knocking it down. Samuel Williamson, very smooth, opens up an 11-point lead.
But the two baskets by West has given this entire team confidence to take shots down the stretch.
Go again, no, and it's Williams there for one of the blocks, but then a foul on Williamson on the second effort. 1:07 to go. And Louisville up by 11. Louisville had their biggest halftime lead they've had all season long, as they were up by 17. Georgia Tech with a furious run at one point went on a 19-0 run to make this a game as Usher rattles in number one.
Malik Williams going over, coming up with the block shot, denying the 2 points, but Jordan Usher tracking it down, getting the offensive rebound and putting 2 points on the board at the free throw line.
Back on for the Yellow Jackets, Jalen Moore, the freshman. Debo Coleman to the bench. And now the Yellow Jackets showing pressure. And a foul on the bounce in. So Louisville may have to put this game away at the foul line. Leading 81-72, over a minute to go.
Well, we can't forget Louisville is 15th, meaning dead last in the ACC in free throw shooting, 67.4%. So I'm not going to say that this game is over yet. They shot it much better here this evening, but of course we know free throws change in the last minute.
West the grab. Transfer from Marshall. Good foul shooter. They'll get it to him as often as they can here in the final moments.
And rightfully so. And West, who's playing with confidence, even when his team was struggling with confidence, stepping up, making 2 big threes, and now knocking down free throws. I like the young fella's braids. Of course, I love the shirt, the jump man, but the braids are tight.
How into it they are. That's intensity. DeVoe lost the handle, and a reach-in foul by Kelly, and a turnover they could not afford. 83-72. And Louisville hasn't been to the line very much in the second half, but they are 5 for 5 there. And it's West once again to the stripe.
There's the motto for the week. Spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. Of course, the notorious B.I.G. said it best. You're not far from his home here in the BK.
That's down at Clarksburg, West Virginia. And an opening here for the Yellow Jackets. Sturdivant to the 3. That won't fall. One and done there. Great effort there by Usher on the seat of his pants. Here's Kelly, but can't finish it off. Terrific effort by Jordan Usher to keep that alive. And a foul by Kelly stops the clock with 34.5 to go. And hope's running out here for Georgia Tech. Louisville had a big lead. It looked safe for a long time. The Yellow Jackets came running back. They closed it to 5, Corey, to 73-68.
And I'm shocked to see Michael DeVoe not on the floor. Look, he's only got 3 fouls right now. Josh Pastner going without him here down the stretch.
Loss for the Yellow Jackets would be their 20th and drop them to 12-20 to finish the season. And Louisville would improve to 13-18. Louisville, a team that has been so hard to read all season long, with all of the problems and a coach effectively being dismissed, and Chris Mack, and winning so few games, you know, down the stretch. But they look like a different team the first half tonight.
They really did. Really, for the first 30 minutes of this game, they looked like a different team. Struggled to finish it off. And when you consider the performance that the Cards have put on here, and they will survive and advance.
Usher with 19 points in the ball game. Just in front of the shot clock. They got off in time, and that's going to be behind the backboard. It deflected off the back of the backboard, so it's back over to the Yellow Jackets with 9.4 to go. And Louisville about to celebrate a win in the ACC tournament. The Cardinals coming to Brooklyn, as Kelly will drive in, back in 2. He really had a fine night, but it was not enough in the end. As Louisville will win it tonight, they knock off the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech 84-74. They move on tomorrow night in the next round of the tournament to take on the number 6 seed Virginia.
And strong performance by Mike Pegues, his staff, and his team coming in invested in this game and moving forward in the ACC tournament.
So look at the brackets. The winners, Boston College over Pitt, Louisville knocking off Georgia Tech, and Clemson a winner against NC State. So our congrats to the Cardinals in the win column tonight against the Yellow Jackets.